make sure you stick around to the end of the video so you can see this on that. Alright, as you guys may have seen from the title of the video and the thumbnail, we have some 8-speed updates. Before I get to that though, it's been a little while since I uploaded the last video. What I'm kind of thinking about doing is filming some of the preventative and corrective maintenance I'm doing to kind of prep the truck before I put the 8-speed in. I bought the truck with some things that needed some love, so I'm trying to go around and do that. I just did lower control arms a weekend or two ago. I have upper control arms, I have diff bushings, heater tees and coolant lines, and a whole power steering system that I need to replace. So if you guys want to see those videos, please let me know down in the comments, but thank you for coming by. So now the real meat and potatoes of the video, what you're here for. We got a box from Drift HQ. Inside the box, we got some hardware. We have our input axle for BMW transmission. This guy right here. Then we got the adapter plate and stickers. You can never forget the stickers. It's the most important part of the entire box. So this is the transfer case adapter, so that way I can put a BMW transmission and a Toyota transfer case together. So I flipped this transfer case around so you can kind of see. So this input axle is going to replace this input axle right here. This is the input axle shaft that spins the high range and low range gears, and this is cut for the amount of splines that are on the A440, A442 transmission on the 9180 series that's mechanically controlled versus electronically controlled. This one is going to replace this one because this one is cut for the splines on the BMW 8-speed. I will need to pull this transfer case apart to get to this input axle, and I will swap out the high range gear and put it on here. And while I'm in there, I'm going to go ahead and refresh the case with new bearings and seals, since this is a 220 mile case. The rebuild kit for the case is out of stock until about mid to late April. Also, I spoke with Daniel at DomiWorks, and there is a backlog on the UZ to N63 adapters, so I don't know when that will get made and shipped from Sweden over to Florida and over to me, but it's the nature of the game. I still need a transmission pan service kit, some ATF, the turbo lamic itself. I have right now the PCB that will go inside the mechatronics, but I'm waiting to do anything with that until I have the turbo lamic, so that way I can test to make sure everything works good. For it, cut open the mechatronics, and then I will need the analog harness and the display and the mode switch. I am thinking that I'm going to go with a A90 super shifter, so I need to fire up the 3D printer to get a adapter made for that. I'm probably going to try and pin it out of PETG or ASA, most likely ASA. And I also will likely need to do a extension for the transfer case shifter. With that, that should be a bulk of the things, but I also need to figure out how well these mounting points will work with my current cross member. So, more to follow, but thanks for coming by. Alright, so for the transfer case adapter plate, this part is going to be facing the BMW transmission, and this part is going to be facing this mating surface on here. There's two dowel pins that go in to here and here, so we're going to slot those in. This is going to be a dry fit. I'm not going to make the effort to thread everything together all right now, but that way you guys have an idea. So there's the adapter plate on, and then this input axle will replace this input axle. And here's the bonus bit. This input axle goes on to the BMW transmission. And then this will interface with the gears in the transfer case and provide power to the front and rear drive shafts on the transfer case.